Okay, so not a big fan of Marty's output in the 21st century thus far. I don't think there's going to be a hell of a lot more after this most recent Killers of the Flower Moon. And no, we're not going to discuss that at any point on this channel. A vast majority of what Scorsese has released during the 21st century has not been very interesting. Let's be honest. After Goodfellas slash Cape Fear slash The Age of Innocence, I'm not a Casino guy, I'm not a Condon guy, I'm not a Bring Out the Dead guy, so I'm not really into the mid-late 90s as it goes. So then when you get to Gangs of New York and The Aviator, it's already, the damage is already done. I'm not that disappointed at this time, theoretically. But The Departed, a remake of a strong film called Infernal Affairs, one of Scorsese's more interesting, potentially exhilarating casts, and most of the potential, I think, is realized. For Departed, despite being one of the ones which I think Scorsese's critics in the 21st century would target, Departed is one of the ones I really like. Anyway, after Departed, you had disappointing Shutter Island. Hugo's very, very good, in my opinion. Wolf of Wall Street, crap. And Silence, that's based off of a brilliant text. The novel I actually went out and read after having seen this film, and also the 1971 adaptation of the novel, same novel, which was a Japanese film by Masahiro Shinoda. That's even better than Scorsese's. Scorsese's is very good too. And of course, The Irishman, no. And Killers of the Flower Moon, no. For Departed, look, I think it's partly that I saw The Departed when I was like 12 or 13. Is that appropriate? I don't really know. The point is, it was so thrilling, entertaining, quotable, memorable. Almost every scene was dynamic, explosive, in your face, instantly memorable. What a cast of characters, what a sequence of events. It was Scorsese fine-tuning his formula for really permanently printing scenes into your brain. Something which the likes of, even as early as Mean Streets and then into Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, I would say After Hours as well, and Goodfellas, he has an ability which didn't seem to be present in his works for a while, until this one feels like he's most energized since the likes of Goodfellas, Cape Fear, Age of Innocence, as I implied. But there's also a lot of disdain for the film. I think they felt it was too comically Boston with all the accents. I think a lot of Americans found that annoying. And I think that people felt the vulgarity was too much. A lot of people were very knee-jerk about Leonardo DiCaprio's performance. As someone who's not the biggest fan of Leonardo DiCaprio, nor his performances in Martin Scorsese films, I feel as though the performance he won the Oscar for, The Revenant, is not only one of the best films he was ever in, but his best performance, because it's him doing what he's best at, which is just kind of baselessly emoting. But I think his performance as Billy Costigan in The Departed is very, very good. Normally I don't find him believable, but I found Costigan a very believable and three-dimensional character, and most importantly, just very watchable and charismatic character. I don't normally find DiCaprio that. I don't think The Departed is a film which a lot of people are as laudatory over compared to its release in 2000. I think some people are under the impression that it won the Best Picture and Best Director, partly because Scorsese had been considered to have been snubbed by the Academy in both 1980 for Raging Bull against Ordinary People, and then again in 1990 when the film which, that's almost the biggest upset, is because is Goodfellas losing to Dances with Wolves. People seem to go crazy about that on forums, at least they did at one time. More the IMDb era, it's all on Letterboxd and Twitter now, I think. And on AOD. No, really. But well, we have Barry Moore, and at one time Honky Tonk Skrionkadonk, and we also have like Carly, Sean McCulloch. We have some really interesting commenters, not gonna lie. I'm thinking, Jesus, what are you guys doing here? I'm flattered, but like, wow, I mean, I may be doing something mild right if people like that are rocking up. Anyway, for Departed. Let's see how much people can still respect me if I admit, excuse me, that The Departed is one of the Scorsese films I like most, certainly the 21st century, and I would put it in the better category overall of his work. Let me just give a quick spiel to why. It's so entertaining. I know everything that's going to happen before it happens. I can't guarantee that this would still be the case if the film wasn't impressionable upon me. I'm young enough wherein this film can be impressionable upon me at a young age. This film only came out when I was, it would have been 10 years old, and sort of in the year 2009. If I watched it now for the first time, I consider it very entertaining, but silly, and yet having a certain flair to it, at least cinematographically. And as a screenplay, it's relatively bouncy. But it's almost all the tropes for their own sake. Like Jack Nicholson's playing Jack Nicholson, there are undercover cops for their own sake. They hint at further development of the characters almost because it knows reviews will pick it out. You know, like there's the hints about Matt Damon's his character's masculinity, that little subtext there. I don't know what Scorsese was thinking to do with that other than to hope that critics are going to notice it and ponder about it. I think they call that queer baiting on places like TV tropes. We'll close it here. I don't have that much to share about The Departed. I probably will inevitably, eventually, because I feel like, oh wait, I could have said that, and that. But for now, I don't feel as though it'll be as articulate or interesting. I like how my insecurities energize me and embolden me into thinking more interesting thoughts about the films after the video's uploaded. But look, as long as the interesting thoughts come, they come. If they're not in here, they're not in here. But then you don't have to be here either, which I appreciate people for actually being here in the first place. Like that's crazy to me. 1.52 subscribers, like, wow, I can do nothing but thank you all. This channel does not really consider subscribers or viewers at all even that much. Maybe it ought to. Or not, because by not doing so, we gained the 1.52 in the first place. Curious. Perhaps not, though. We'll conclude and we'll be discussing next time a film which I don't think anyone got any problems with. 2007. What won that year?